You can't outwork your yesterday if you don't even know what you did yesterday. Too many people wake up and go through the motions without ever tracking their effort. They're running in circles, working hard but not working smart. And then they wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year. Listen to me. Success is math. It's numbers. It's measurable. If you don't measure, you can't manage. If you don't manage, you can't improve. Every single day you need to know where you stand. How many hours did you put in yesterday? How many calls did you make? How many pages did you write? How many reps did you do in the gym? You have to know, because if you can't compare today to yesterday, how do you know you're winning? You might be working hard, but are you working hard? But you working harder? You might be moving, but are you moving forward? When I say track your progress, I mean detail it, write it down. Keep a log. Treat your life like a championship season. You think athletes just show up and guess that they're better? No, they have stats. They watch the game tape. They analyze every move so they can get better. You got to start looking at your life like that. Your dreams are the championship. Your grind is the season, and every day is game day. Some of you don't realize how much better you could be because you're not keeping score. You finished today, and you have no idea if you've moved an inch toward your goals. You tell yourself, I worked hard today. But that's a feeling, not a fact. Feelings are tricky. They change with your mood, but numbers don't lie. If you made 10 sales calls yesterday, today you make 11. If you ran 2 miles yesterday, today you run 2.5. That's how you outwork your yesterday, by knowing exactly what yesterday was. The reason tracking is powerful is because it forces you to be honest with yourself. You can't hide from the truth when it's on paper. You can't say I'm grinding harder than ever if the numbers show you're actually doing less. Some people don't track because they don't want to face that truth. But if you're serious about your goals, you have to embrace it. You have to be willing to look in the mirror and say, I can do more. Think about it. If you're in the gym and you lift 100 pounds for 8 reps, the next time you come in, you're not going to grab a random weight and hope you're improving. You're going to try for 9 reps or add 5 pounds. That's how growth works. Life is no different. Whatever your craft is, whatever your hustle is, you have to know your weight and your reps up so you can beat them. I know what some of you are thinking. It's just too much work to track everything. Let me tell you something. Tracking takes way less time than staying stuck. Stagnation is exhausting. Being in the same place year after year drains you way more than writing down your numbers for a few minutes a day. And once you start, it becomes a habit. You'll actually look forward to logging your progress because you'll start seeing yourself improve. And here's the best part. Tracking your progress builds confidence. The reason some of you don't believe in yourself is because you don't have proof. You've been grinding, but you can't see the results. When you track daily, you'll see that proof. You'll see that yesterday you could only do this much, and today you're doing more. That's fuel. That's momentum. That's how you start believing you can climb mountains, because you got receipts showing you're already climbing. Another thing, tracking makes you accountable. It's easy to lie to other people, but it's hard to lie to yourself when the numbers are in front of you. And accountability is the bridge between intention and execution. You can have all the motivation in the world, but without accountability, you'll slack. That's why championship teams have scoreboards. That's why businesses have quarterly reports. That's why you need your own daily scoreboard. So from now on, I want you to treat each day like a challenge. Start the morning knowing exactly what your numbers were yesterday. Then attack the day with one mission, beat them. It doesn't have to be a huge leap. Small daily wins add up. One more call, one more push-up, one more push-up, one more paragraph. That's all it takes. If you do just 1% better every day, that's 365% better in a year. That's not motivation, that's math. Don't just hope you're better. Know you're better. Keep the stat, keep the records. And then every night ask yourself, did I beat yesterday? If the answer is yes, you're moving forward. If the answer is no, then you know exactly what to fix tomorrow. That's how champions think. That's how you outwork your yesterday, by keeping score and refusing to lose to the person you were. Some of you are living at a level you've gotten comfortable with, and that's the problem. Yesterday's standard has become today's limit. You worked hard once. You hit a goal once, and now you're stuck there because you think that's the best you can do. I'm here to tell you, what you call your best is just the starting line. If you want to grow, if you want to dominate, you have to raise the standard. You can't just meet it. You've got to set a new one every single day. The truth is, too many people treat success like a one-time thing. They hit a target, they celebrate, and then they relax. They don't realize that the same energy it took to reach that level is the energy it takes to keep it, and even more to surpass it. If you were grinding hard to hit your last milestone, why would you stop there? That's like climbing halfway up the mountain and setting up camp. The view is better at the top. Raising the standard means refusing to let past achievements define you. It means refusing to let yesterday's win make you soft. I don't care if you broke a record yesterday. That's old news today. In this game, nobody remembers what you did last week if you're not doing something today. You gotta be hungry enough to keep pushing, to keep stretching, to keep proving to yourself that you've got more in you. And let me make this clear. When I say raise the standard, I'm not talking about big unrealistic leaps every day. I'm talking about refusing to settle for good enough. I'm talking about squeezing one more ounce of effort out of yourself when you feel like you've given it all. It's the little upgrades that stack up over time. That's what makes you great. Champions don't just train to stay in shape. They train to get stronger, faster, sharper. Every day is about finding a new edge. The challenge is raising your standards uncomfortable. It means saying no when you want to say yes. It means working when you rather rest. It means turning down distractions, cutting off excuses, and holding yourself to a level that makes people around you think you're crazy. But here's the thing, crazy is exactly what it takes to be legendary. Average people will never understand your grind because average people live at the level they've always known. You're not average. You're built for more. Sometimes you gotta step back and ask yourself, oh, what's my standard right now? If your standard is based on what's easy, then you already lost. Your standard should scare you a little. It should make you feel like, oh man, I'm not even sure if I can hit that. That's how you grow. If it feels comfortable, you're not raising it high enough. Think about athletes at the highest level. They're not comparing themselves to the local competition. They're measuring themselves against the world's best. That's why they push past limits that most people can't even imagine. They set their standards so high that even their bad days look like other people's best days. That's the mindset you need. Your worst day should still be at a level most people can't touch. And you can't wait for life to force you to raise your standard. You have to choose it. You have to choose it. Too many people wait for a crisis, for their back to be against the wall before they start operating at a higher level. By then, it's almost too late. The best raise their standard before they have to. They prepare before the storm hits. They don't just survive pressure. They create pressure for themselves, so they're always improving. Here's the reality. If you don't raise your standard, life will lower it for you. You'll start accepting things you would never have tolerated before. You'll start letting little habits slide, and before you know it, you're not the person you used to be. Doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes slowly when you stop demanding more of yourself. That's why raising the standard has to be a daily decision. And yes, it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. Growth isn't supposed to feel like comfort. It's supposed to feel like stretching, like pulling, like reaching. You can't stay in the same mental space, the same emotional space, the same grind, and expect to hit new levels. You got to elevate everything. Your work ethic, your focus, your discipline, your vision. That's how you keep climbing. If you want the truth, most people won't raise their standard because they don't want to pay the price. But there's a price for staying where you are too. It's called regret. And regret costs more than effort ever will. You'll never look back and say, I wish I had settled for less. But you will look back and wish you had gone harder, push further, believe bigger. So you've got a choice. Stay at the level you're at and watch life pass you by, or raise the bar and see just how far you can go. Every day, ask yourself, what's the next level for me? And then chase it like your life depends, your future does. Comfort is a slow killer. It doesn't come for you all at once. It sneaks in quietly, makes you feel good, makes you relax, and before you know it, you stop chasing the very thing you say you want. That's why so many people never reach greatness. It's not because they didn't have the talent or the opportunity. It's because they got comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to outwork your yesterday, you have to make a decision right now to stop chasing comfort and start chasing challenge. Every time you choose comfort over discomfort, you rob yourself of progress. That extra hour of sleep instead of getting up to train, that's a choice. That decision to stay in and binge watch instead of working on your craft, that's a choice. Every single one of those choices keeps you exactly where you are. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it robs you in the long run. You have to train yourself to see comfort not as a reward, but as a trap. Here's the truth. Discomfort is where growth lives. When you feel tired, when you feel stretched, when you feel like you can't go another step, that's when you're actually changing. That's when you're building resilience, discipline, and toughness. Most people run from that feeling. Winners run toward it. Beginners run toward it. They know that the only way to expand is to step into spaces that make them uneasy. I remember hearing someone say, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. And I'll never forget that because it's the truth. Think about every major breakthrough you've ever had. It didn't happen when life was easy. It happened when you were under pressure, when you were stressed, when you were forced to stretch. That's what discomfort does. It demands more from you than you thought you had. And in the process, you discover that you're capable of more than you believed. The problem is, we live in a world that sells comfort like it's the ultimate goal. Everything around you tells you to take it easy, relax, slow down. You deserve it. And don't get me wrong, rest has its place. But rest isn't supposed to be your lifestyle. Rest is supposed to be recovery so you can go harder the next day. When you turn recovery into a way of life, you stop moving forward. You've got to be willing to put yourself in uncomfortable situations on purpose. Wake up earlier than you feel like. Take on challenges you don't feel ready for. Push your body, push your mind, push your spirit. Stop waiting for the perfect moment where it feels easy, because that moment never comes. Growth and comfort don't live in the same place. You've got to choose one. Every time you resist comfort, you're building a habit. And every time you give into comfort, you're building a habit too. The question is, which habit is building your future? Comfort habits make you weaker over time. Discomfort habits make you stronger. This is why elite athletes, top entrepreneurs, and high achievers keep putting themselves through intense routines even when they could coast. They refuse to lose the edge that discomfort gives them. When you start making discomfort your new normal, something amazing happens. Your tolerance increases. The thing that used to scare you becomes routine. The thing that used to exhaust you becomes your warm-up. You begin to realize that the limits you thought you had were fake. Comfort keeps you living small. Discomfort shows you how big you can really go. And here's the crazy part. After a while, you start to crave it. You start to feel uncomfortable when things are too easy because you know deep down you're not growing. You start looking for the next challenge, the next opportunity to test yourself. That's when you know you flipped the switch. You're no longer avoiding discomfort, you're chasing it. This isn't about being reckless or burning yourself out. It's about creating a life where you're constantly evolving, where you're not the same person year after year because you've been through new challenges that have shaped you, where you're not stuck talking about what you used to do because you're too busy doing what you've never done before. The danger with comfort is that it makes you believe you've arrived when you haven't. It makes you think the job is done when there's still so much more you could achieve. It makes you forget that the grind is what got you here in the first place. The moment you stop chasing growth is the moment you start slipping backward, whether you realize it or not. So every day you gotta make that choice. When it's cold outside and the alarm goes off, are you getting up or hitting snooze? When the workout gets tough, are you pushing through or quitting early? When the business deal gets complicated, are you digging deeper or walking away? These are the moments that decide your future. Not the easy days, but the hard ones. Comfort will always be waiting for you. It will always be there to tempt you, but so will opportunity, and opportunity doesn't wait. Hunger is the difference between people who start strong and people who finish strong. It's the difference between the ones who win once and the ones who win over and over. The reason some people never reach their full potential isn't because they didn't have the talent. It's because they lost the hunger. Somewhere along the way, they got comfortable, they got satisfied, and they stopped chasing like they did when they had nothing. If you want to keep outworking your yesterday, you have to stay hungry, no matter how much you've already achieved. When you're hungry, you wake up before the alarm goes off. You don't need somebody to remind you to grind because the fire inside you won't let you sleep. When you're hungry, you're willing to do what others won't. You'll take the stairs when everyone else is looking for the elevator. You'll stay late, you'll push harder, you'll keep learning when others are ready to quit. Hunger makes you unstoppable because it comes from the inside. Nobody can give it to you, and nobody can take it away unless you let them. The danger is that hunger fades when you start tasting success. You hit a goal, you get a little money in your pocket, you start feeling comfortable, and suddenly the same grind that built you feels optional. That's when people start losing, not because the competition got better, but because they got softer. They stop doing the little things. They start skipping steps. They think, ooh, I made it. But hunger doesn't say, I made it. Hunger says, oh, what's next? Hunger has nothing to do with your circumstances. It's about your mindset. I've seen people with nothing act like they've already won. And I've seen people who have achieved incredible things still train like they're broke. That's the difference. Staying hungry means reminding yourself daily that there's more to do, more to learn, more to achieve. It means not letting the scoreboard dictate your work ethic. You don't stop because you're ahead. You keep pushing until there's no doubt, until there's no one left who can catch you. The key to staying hungry is staying connected to your why. Why did you start this journey? What's the bigger picture? Because when your why is strong enough, you'll find a way to keep going even when you're tired, even when you've already accomplished more than you thought you could. Hunger thrives when you keep that vision in front of you. When you wake up and remind yourself that you're not here to coast, you're here to dominate. Another way to keep the hunger alive is to surround yourself with people who challenge you. If you're always the smartest, fastest, or most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Hunger grows when you're around people who make you realize you still have work to do. When you see someone putting in the hours, taking risks, and achieving big things, it forces you to raise your game. Competition isn't your enemy, it's your fuel. You also have to keep setting new goals. Hunger dies when there's nothing left to chase. The moment you reach a milestone, you should already be thinking about the next one. You have to keep stretching yourself beyond your comfort zone because hunger feeds on challenge. If the goal doesn't scare you a little, it's not big enough. Hunger wants something that makes your stomach turn with excitement and nerves at the same time. But here's the truth. Staying hungry isn't easy. There will be days when you don't feel like it. Days when you don't feel like it, when the results aren't showing, when it feels like you're running in place. Those are the days that separate the average from the elite. Because hunger isn't about how you feel in the moment. It's about the commitment you made to yourself. It's about showing up and giving your best, even when nobody's watching, even when there's no immediate payoff. You can't fake hunger. You either have it or you don't. And if you feel yours fading, you've got to reignite it. Go back to the beginning. Remember what it felt like to be underestimated, to be overlooked, to have people doubt you. Let that fuel you again. Remind yourself that the grind you're avoiding today is the grind that someone else is using to pass you up. The reality is the world is full of talented people who never made it because they got satisfied too soon. They thought they could live off yesterday's work. Hunger is a daily choice. You've got to wake up every day and decide that you're not done yet. You've got to attack every task like it's the one that's going to change your life. You've got to train your mind to believe that no matter how much you've done, there's still more in the tank. Hunger is what keeps you sharp. It keeps you humble. It keeps you from taking shortcuts because you know the reward comes from earning it the hard way. It's the reason you keep moving forward when others stop. It's the difference between people who have a good season and people who build a legacy and people who build a legacy. Too many people lose the game because they're living in the wrong place. Some are stuck in the past, replaying old mistakes or celebrating old wins like they still matter today. Others are so focused on the future that they forget the only way to get there is by handling today. You can't change yesterday. You can't live in tomorrow. All you have is right now. And if you don't master the now, you'll never outwork your yesterday. Right now is where the fight is. Right now is where the decision gets made. The reps you do today, the calls you make today, the work you put in today, that's what builds your future. You can have the best plan in the world, the biggest vision, the clearest dream. But if you're not executing in the present, it's just talk. Plans don't win games, plays win games. And the play you have is the one you're running right now. When you focus on the now, you strip away the excuses. You stop saying, I'll do it when the timing is right, or I'll start when things slow down. You understand that the timing will never be perfect, and that waiting is just another word for wasting. You stop waiting for motivation and start building momentum by taking action. The future doesn't belong to the person who has the best intention. It belongs to the person who moves today. Focusing on the now doesn't mean you ignore the future. It means you fuel it. The work you put in today is the investment that pays off tomorrow. Every brick you lay right now becomes part of the foundation you'll stand on later. And the stronger you build today, the more you'll be able to handle when bigger opportunities come. That's why the great ones treat every day like it matters, because it does. The problem is a lot of people get distracted. They let what happened yesterday affect how they move today. If they had a bad day, they into the next one. If they had a good day, they relax and coast. But every day is a fresh scoreboard. Yesterday's win won't help you if you lose today. Yesterday's loss won't hurt you if you dominate today. The only thing that matters is what you do right now. Focusing on the now also means being fully present in your work. When you're in the gym, you're not thinking about what you have to do later. You're locked in on that set, that rep, that moment. When you're in a meeting, you're not checking your phone every 2 minutes. You're engaged, listening, contributing. Presence is power because it turns good effort into great results. And let's be real, most people don't fail because they can't do it. They fail because they don't do it consistently. And the only way to be consistent is to win one day at a time. You can't execute for 30 days at once, but you can execute today. You can't run a marathon in one step, but you can take the step in front of you. It's about stacking wins day after day until they turn into momentum. And momentum turns into mastery. When you focus on now, you take back control. You can't control the past. It's already written. You can't fully control the future. It hasn't happened yet. But you can control what you do in this exact moment. And that's the most powerful position you can be in. Because the moment you control your now, you start shaping everything that comes after it. This is why procrastination is so dangerous. It steals the now. It convinces you that you got more time, that you can make it up later. But later is never promised. Later doesn't have the same energy as now. Later is where dreams go to die. If it matters, do it now. If it will move you forward, do it now. If it will help you outwork your yesterday, do it now. Focusing on the now also builds discipline. Every time you choose to act instead of wait, you're training yourself to be decisive. You're teaching your mind and body that when it's time to move, you move. That habit compounds over time. Before you know it, you build a lifestyle of action instead of hesitation. And that's the kind of lifestyle that wins. You have to treat now like it's the only chance you'll get, because for all you know, it might be. If today was the last day you could work towards your dream, how hard would you go? How much would you give? How focused would you be? That's the level you need to bring every single day, not just when it's urgent, but when it's ordinary. That's how you turn ordinary days into extraordinary results. No? There's a saying that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. But a gift is only valuable if you open it and use it. Too many people leave their gift unopened, wasting the time they've been given because they're too busy looking backward or forward. Don't be that person. Unwrap the gift of now and use it until it's empty. The greats win because they understand that small daily victories add up. They know that if they give 100% today, then 100% tomorrow, and keep stacking those days, the future will take care of itself.